really crazy out
Yeah.
there.
Live-O Spaghetti-O. Welcome to the Eric Charts Mr. Misunderstood album review.
Exactly, Alvin. I appreciate that. Yeah, so we're talking about tonight Eric Church's Mr. Misunderstood. That's the vinyl version of it. There's the back. And then
Okay.
here's the CD. Here's the back. Not much, not
So
much
you got
difference
what?
as far as packaging.
So you got both the vinyl and the CD.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I was wondering if you do that with all the album, like all of Eric's albums or all the albums you like. If you buy different
I
versions of them, like the vinyl
I
and the
try
CD.
to.
Okay.
It doesn't always work, but or depends on if the album's actually. What's up, Robert? How's it going, man?
Yeah.
It
Hey,
depends
Robert.
whether if the album is actually out on vinyl or
Oh,
whatever.
okay. Yeah.
So, um, there's some artists that I'll just buy the vinyl for, and then
Yeah.
there's some artists that I'll get the
Oh
vinyl
yeah,
and just
hey EC. I mean Elsa.
hey Elsa, um,
Elsa,
and Robert.
the frozen girl.
Yeah, so basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through this album song by song. We'll talk about it, give our final thoughts, give a ranking
Yeah,
on each
and there's
on each
10,
song.
10. Yeah, and there's 10 tracks in all. 10 tracks.
Yeah. Now, as far as the Eric Church website is concerned, this
Hmm.
album was released on my birthday, November the 4th,
Nice.
2015. Yeah. So,
2015.
yep. So this album is what almost 8 years
Yeah, can
old.
you wait? Almost 8 years old. Damn.
Yeah,
That's what's crazy. It's crazy to think 2015 was that long ago.
I know, right? So yeah, and I wanted to say before we kind of get into the actual track by track review is, hi
Yeah.
Justin, that this album is kind of different by Eric Church, um, considered his past works. This album has more of a kind of a bluesy sound to it. Um, it really, when I first heard this record, it kind of caught me off guard, and it really took me a listen or two to really like. I mean, I was hooked as far as like the words and everything to the songs, and the songs are catchy. It just like I said, it almost had this really um, just really different sound by Eric Church. And I've noticed in the last few of his records, he's kind of gone with a more of a little bit bluesier sound than he ever has. Um, but that not necessarily a bad thing. It just I think it was just kind of a different. Now this album actually was released to his paid or upper tier fan club members before it was released to the public, and his record label or anything didn't even know anything about this record. And when he sent it to the stores, he actually set it up under a Christmas album. Um, so people didn't even know it was in stores until they went to their back room opening up the boxes, and there set the new Eric Church album. Now, I don't usually do this. I usually kind of don't talk about this kind of stuff, but well, I'll say it at the end of the record. But this is the first album other than the live album that Eric Church done, Caught in the Act, that actually doesn't feature Eric Church on the album cover, and which is kind of different too. So
Yeah, that was interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I guess we'll go ahead and get into this and get the track by track going here. And since it's only 10 songs, I think it'll go pretty quick. And like I said, we'll give our ratings and we'll give
Yeah.
an overall review at the end of it, and we'll get out of here as quick as we can. So
Very true.
the album do you want to start? You want to start us off, or do you want me to?
I can start off if you don't mind, Wild Bill. I mean,
No, go ahead.
because I know you usually like start them off, but I mean, since it's only 10 songs, and I thought I'd just start off with the title track, track one, called "Mr. Misunderstood." Now, this is the title track from the album. It's the opening track as well, and I actually really like this one. It says when I was what I could find about this particular song. Because Mr. Misunderstood is a song with an older person talking to a young kid. It's never made clear, but it's possible this is the protagonist talking to a younger version of himself. The kid is an outsider and thinks differently than the kids his age. The singer tells the youngster to stay on track because I was just like you. Now, but yeah, this song just I felt kind of relate. Like I feel is one of the most relatable songs on this album because I mean I feel like a lot of people probably felt that way back in school, basically being like set aside as like an outcast or an outsider. Um, so yeah, I really like this one for an opening track. I'd probably give this song in particular maybe 4.5 stars. Actually, it almost did get 5 stars for me because the more I listened to the song, the more I liked it. Not to mention it has a music video as well, and I think the music video was really good as well. So yeah, since I'm kind of fairly well, I mean, I don't want to say like I'm more like a casual Eric Church fan compared to like a lot of you other guys who are probably like huger fans of his. Because I don't know too much about this song or this album in particular, but this was definitely a really good song, and I think I do remember when this song first came out because even listening to it, preparing for this review, it did start to come back to me because I think I have heard this song on the radio once or twice back in like 2015, 2016. So, but yeah, I really like the song. I give it like 4.5 stars, and it's a pretty relatable song and a nice opening track for an Eric Church album. Even though this song felt a little like bluesier or different than his previous work, it just sounded. This song automatically sounded like an outsider out of Eric Church's like discography up to this point, I should say. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Wild Bill?
Well, Mr. Misunderstood is probably one of my favorite songs off this album. It just, I love the lyrics. And a guy that's been an outsider all my life, a guy that never fit in, and the guy that just was always just kind of, people never understood me, but
Yeah,
a lot of them didn't really want to understand me and didn't want to really try to get to know me. So I always felt like an outsider anyway. So and people just they didn't understand me. So I get the whole Mr. Misunderstood, and this is I think the reason why I like this album so much is because of this song because it's so relatable to me, and I just love the music. I love the lyrics. I noticed that like I said, this song takes a different approach than most of your Eric Church songs, and like I said, it has a more of a bluesy vibe to it, which the whole record has that, which is kind of different from most Eric Church records. So I really like it. I'll give it. You know what? I don't. I think I will give it 5 stars, only just because just it's so well written and so well done. And even at the end of it, when you hear that na na na, that when he's kind of humming that na, and the way he does that, it just fits in with the song really well, and that doesn't take anything off of the song for me. So yeah, I think I'll give it 5 stars. And
yeah.
yeah,
I did want
that's
to.
all.
I did want to mention something a while ago. Speaking of that, I almost forgot like about like talking about this song, but I did notice that the speed in this song was like it almost felt back and forth, but when he was doing the na na na, like it was just so catchy and it like fit the song, even though
Yeah.
he wasn't really saying words. Even though when he stopped really with like saying actual words and lyrics, just the na 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 was. I mean, it just rolled off his tongue so well at that point in the song. Not to mention the instruments in the background. I mean, but it did feel like I don't know, someone was messing with like a turntable, like on a vinyl, like as a DJ or something. Like, so I'd speed it up a little bit, not slow it down, speed it up. Like, I don't know, it sounded cool. It kind of reminded me of like I don't know, a racetrack or something. Like watching like horses run, or I don't know, like NASCAR, like a NASCAR race or something. I don't know, but I did really like that song. So, but yeah, I was on the fence between giving it 4.5 or 5 stars. So, but that's cool that you gave it 5 stars though, Walko.
Yeah.
So I guess you can introduce the next one, track two.
So the next song is called "A Mistress Named Music," which this is a really great song. I love the storytelling in this. It's basically about a child or a guy who remembered his childhood growing up taking piano lessons from the black older lady that he went to church with or what is and that or after church he was taking music lessons from her and everything. And so and he's up, and it says and he gets in the music and everything, and he there's a line in it, he says, with a guitar full of freedom and a head full of lines, that night line full of demons, been a hell of a ride. I got a crazy, crazy heart, but I was born to lose it. Married to a dream with a mistress named music. Okay. Um, this song is kind of hard to explain. It makes sense to a certain extent. The dream, I think, is like being able to play music and go out and live that life. But the actual, and he's married to that life, but his mistress is actually the music or whatever, which is kind of weird. I think he's married to the travel and the playing and all that stuff, but it's almost like he has a side woman, and the side woman is music. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird. It's kind of hard to explain, but I love the song, and I love the lyrics in it, and I love the line where it says, "White calloused fingers on bronze and nylon, the same old boots are still tapping time. Not quite a buzz I used to tie on, but I'm gone and I'll be chasing this song with the guitar full of freedom and a head full of light." See, yes, now it's like he's grown up, and he's talking about white calloused fingers, because anybody knows if you've ever played guitars, your hands get calloused from playing thing, and the strings are usually made of bronze, and get nylon and stuff like that. So it's it's more of a kind of a symbolic song. It's all about the music and that lifestyle and being married to it, and all that stuff. So it's really an interesting song. Um, Maybe I have the wrong idea of what the song is about, but to me, that's kind of what I get out of it. And so I'll give this song like 4 stars.
Okay. I'll be honest with you, I'm trying to figure out what this song in particular was about. I feel like you were kind of like right on the money, like what you thought it was about, because it's basically how I took the song as well. But I mean, I also did see another point of view, like maybe he's talking about how he's like when he actually he's actually talking about like being married to a dream with a mistress named Music. Like maybe he actually is actually meaning like he's not just married to like his dream of being a musician in the first place or traveling and everything, but he could also be like in a literal sense, like he's actually well married to maybe like the woman of his dreams or something. Maybe he's actually talking about his wife, but at the same time he has a mistress, and the mistress is music in itself, like saying that he's basically like he basically is married, but at the same time he could actually he's basically has this dream that I mean he's living and he's a musician, so his music is basically taking up a lot of his time, pretty much, I guess.
Yeah.
Like so, that's how I
Yeah.
take it. And I mean, I guess maybe it has like a double meaning. Maybe it's one of those songs where you can interpret it in like many different ways. But uh, but yeah,
Yeah.
I would give the song maybe like 4 stars as well because I don't even though I like the song, I don't know if it's particularly one of my favorites on this album. But it is still it is still a good song though. And I do kind of like the wordplay or like because like you know how when like some people out there that are married and they have like a side chick or something and
Yeah.
like they have like a mistress on the side and I like how he interpret that as like he's basically married like he's living like maybe this married life and everything but at the same time he's cheating but he's not cheating on what you might think he's cheating with. Like it's actually just music. It's not like an actual physical or like another physical person that he's cheating with. It's basically music. Because,
Yeah.
but yeah, I do kind of like the wordplay in that. But yeah, it's a good song. 4 stars for me, and I guess a nice track too. Just probably not one of my absolute favorites on this album. So
Cool.
so yeah, so you want me to move on to track three, Wild Bill?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Track three is called Chattanooga Lucy. Yeah, baby. Just checking out. Okay, it says what I can see what about this song says this is a song about a guy who is driven crazy by a certain woman whenever he sees her. She can't be tamed, but he can't live without her. But while the lyrics don't give a good hint about this, it's possible the women is an analogy for music. That idea certainly fits the theme of this album. Artists chase the perfect song in the same way this man pursues Lucy. Oh, it also did mention that because this album is kind of like more bluesy feel, like Wild said earlier on in this review. It does say whether the lyrics are about a woman or music, the song reflects the many sides of Eric Church's music. Here he blends country with blues and R&B to bring a sense of urgency to the lyrics. So, but yeah, this is actually a really fun song in my opinion. I mean, I actually like it. And a lot of the lyrics does seem like it is like kind of like one of those like I don't know like love songs about or typical love songs about a guy that's crazy for another, I mean for a woman, and they're basically chasing this woman till they get with her. But yeah, I do. I do love this song. Probably again like the previous song, not one of my absolute favorites on this album. But I mean, but it's still a good song, and I don't know, maybe it is relatable to some guys out there. I wouldn't say as far as like I could relate to it per se. I mean, even though I can consider myself a sucker for love myself, but I do also love the metaphor about how he could actually just be singing about him chasing his dream again, like in the previous song, or basically being a musician. Like he's basically just chasing this lifestyle, chasing a song, trying to find out like new ideas for more music, more albums to to write and record. So yeah, it's a very good song. Probably maybe 4 stars like the previous song. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Wabo?
Um, so I got kind of two kind of meanings. I think you can. This is another one of those songs I think you can kind of interpret any way you want to. You could actually look at it as like a real flesh and blood person, and there might be a
Okay.
woman that lives back in the back in the holler, and she's beautiful, and but she's
Yeah.
like this. I'm talking about like backwoods, real country girl that he goes
Yeah.
and sees and kind of gets his thing on or whatever it is, and
Yeah.
and she just drives him crazy or whatever. But she's one of those people that, oh, I don't want to get married or nothing like that. I don't want, like, I'm just, what I'm saying. But then again, you could kind of maybe look at this as maybe his Chattanooga Lucy is also a song, and
Hmm.
or maybe even a way of life or something. Maybe it's uh so yeah, it's I think you can just kind of interpret this any way you want to. It's a good song and it's up temp. It's an up tempo song. And Eric kind of does some kind of lyrical stuff in this song that's a little bit different than he's normally done. I like the song, but it's like I would have to say it's not one of my favorite songs on the album. It's probably one of the most um songs that is not played as much on this album by me. But I will say this now. I'm the kind of person that when I listen to pop, 90% of my music, I listen to it on vinyl. And usually when I stick a vinyl on, I play all the way through it, both sides. If it's a double record, I'll listen to both records, front and back. No picking the needle up and dropping it on another song or whatever. I usually play the whole album straight through. So it gets playability, but it's just not one of them songs that I would take the record out of the sleeve and put it on the turntable and set the needle down on that song type song. So, but it's still a great song, and it's not a bad song by any means. It's just not one that I would like find myself listening to over and over again. So I'm going to go out on a limb and and I'm just going to say, and me giving this song this rating doesn't make it a bad song. It's just it could be someone else's favorite song on the album, but I'm gonna give this song like 3.5 stars.
Well, damn. I mean, but or to be honest, I mean, I gave it 4, and I said it wasn't one of my favorites either. So I guess me and Bob we were kind of on the same page with that. But,
Okay.
so I guess if you want, we can go on to the next track if you're done talking about Chattanooga Lucy.
Yep.
Lucy. So,
So the next song, wait a minute, I do this one right.
yeah, because I think I introduced the last one. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Okay. So this next song is called "Mixed Drinks About Feelings," right? Now this is probably one of my favorite songs off the record. It just because this song is so relatable to me. And it's basically about a guy who has the woman he loves left him or whatever, right? And he spent most of his life after that in a bar. And he's so used to the neon lights because it says at the very beginning, it says, turn on a neon light, at least make it feel like night. Put on some this or that. Maybe it won't feel so bad. A little, need a little background noise to drown out all this little voice running circles around my head, screaming louder than the pain. Okay. Uh, so basically, it's a guy that I can see he's still hung up over her, the voices in his head like her and stuff like that. I know where this song is coming from. I've been down this road. Because it's like this one lyric here. It says, "Turn off the bedroom light, put a brave face on face tonight." It's either get used to this dread or the cold spot in our bed. The bottle helps, but the memory burns. The whiskey soothes, but I toss and turn. I'll find sleep till dreams relent. Wake up tired and try again. So I've been down that road. So yeah, I can definitely relate to the song, and it's by just a guy having a mixed drinks about feelings, um, and the woman that he loves, and so it's a great song. It's one of, I think, the highlights off this record, and it's got a duet with him with a woman named Susan Teshi or something like that.
Oh yeah,
She,
yeah. Oh yes,
and she,
Susan Tedeschi, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. She does a really great job on this song too, and it fits so well with the song and how it's written and performed and all that. It's
That's it.
another one of those songs that I gotta go out on them and give 5 stars because it's so great. And
A 5-star song, wow, Bill.
yeah, so it's really a good song. So that's all I
Hmm.
got to say about it.
Interesting. But yeah, okay, I like this song. Probably not one of my absolute favorites. I don't know, but I mean, yeah, I do feel like this song is definitely the type to be a grower, though. But yeah, it says what I could see here. It says it's a simple song about a guy and a gal who are alone now and missing each other. They're both drinking away the pain, just in different places. But uh, but yeah, I mean, I like this song. I think I like the chorus more than anything because I did like it when he's singing about my head is spinning, my resolve is reeling. I can tell by the heavy in my heart I'm going down soon. No
Mhm.
use fighting the fight. It's no contest tonight. My figured out's never been more confused, having mixed drinks about feelings and you.
Yeah,
So yeah, I could definitely understand why you would relate to this, Wild Bill. Maybe I can't relate to it so much because I mean I don't drink or anything like that, but I mean even as a metaphor, I still can understand where Eric is like coming from in this song though, like when it comes to like relationships and things like that, and I don't know, reminiscing and um, but yeah, I do like this song. I'd probably give it maybe four. Like yeah, I think I would give this 4 stars, but I still like it better than Mistress Named Music and Chattanooga Lucy, though. I mean, I still like it more than those, even though. And so I guess more it's leaning more towards like 4.5 stars more than anything. So, but but yeah, I think that's my rating for this song. So we're ready for me to continue to the next track, Barbara.
sure.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if you had anything else to say. Okay. Um.
Nope.
Yeah. Now on to track five. That's second now. Track five is called "Knives of New Orleans." Now, this song I actually like more than I probably thought I would. Maybe the song actually is one of my favorites on the album. I mean, but yeah, it's Knives of New Orleans. It tells the first person story of a man on the run following the murder of his lover. As the song progresses, the speaker's guilt evolves to the point where his flight could be described as both from the police as well as his own sentiments. I love the way that Eric is like singing this song, like in the way he's like telling the story of what he's done like as a narrator. And I was like really captured into the story. I was like, when I first listened to this song, like preparing for the review, I think this is one song that really stuck out to me on the first listen, where I was like there needs to be a movie based on this song or something. I don't know why. I was like, I feel like this was one of the songs on the album that I kind of, I guess, wished had like an official music video, if that makes sense. So but yeah, I do like the part where in the pre-chorus he says, "I did what I did. I have no regrets. When you cross the line, you get what you get." I love this attitude, like saying that, even though
Yeah.
I mean it is kind of messed up, though. I mean, if he really did kill kill his lover, now he's like on the run from the cops, like stuff like that. But I mean, but yeah, this is a one of those interesting like murder mystery type songs that I mean do come in place time and time again in country music. Um, so yeah, I actually really enjoyed this one. I honestly think this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna actually give this one 5 stars. I mean, yeah, I'm giving 5 stars to track five. I actually really enjoyed this one. I mean, more than I thought I would. I mean, since I'm more of like a casual Eric Church fan and not like one of his biggest fans or anything like that. So, yeah, because I think I actually would listen to this one again if it came like with the radio or like on a Spotify playlist or something. I'd probably like listen to it. It's definitely not a skip for me. I mean, at least. So yeah, 5 stars for me. What are your thoughts, Wild Bill?
Um, I like this song. It's a good song. It's kind of different from some of the stuff Eric Church has done. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I heard that this song was based on true events.
Oh,
Now, whether it's actually true or not, that's a little bit that's kind of debatable. But
yeah,
I heard something about like this song was actually like a lot of stuff that's in the song actually happened. Because I think there was a guy in New Orleans who actually killed his wife and was running from the cops, and I think it was on
yeah,
TV or something. And I think that's where Eric Church got the idea for the song. Um, so now I may be wrong on that, and if I am, people can correct me or whatever, and that's fine. But I really like the song. It's different. It kind of has more of a story kind of to it than like most of the songs do. But I don't know that I would give it like a really high rating. It's a catchy song, and I love the way he sings some of the lines in here. Um, because I really do believe on this record that Eric Church had really put himself out there as far as different singing styles and stuff, and trying things different. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but most I would probably say out of that about 90% of the time it worked. So yeah, I think it's a great song. It's definitely has a replayability type.
yeah,
But I would probably give it 4 stars. Only as fact is I just think that um
yeah.
I yeah I mean I got nothing negative to say about it. So you know
Well, that sounds pretty. I mean, really good. Wild Bill. I mean, at least you liked it, even though you didn't give it like a high,
yeah
like or a too high of a rating, I guess. So yeah, you want to go to track six?
yeah.
Finally, we're getting to another song with a music video. But Wild
Now
Bill, introduce
yeah,
that one.
this is my song, right?
Yeah, track six.
Okay. Round Here Butts. Now there's actually two different videos for this song. There was actually a lyrics video when he first
Oh,
when he first kind of released the album, or was going to release this as a single or a potential single. And then later on, it actually became an actual single. And the person in the kid that in this video is also the kid that played in Mr. Misunderstood video.
Oh.
So, and actually, that kid's in actually 3 videos from this album, which I'll talk about later on. But
Okay, because I did know this album had 3 videos. I didn't
yeah,
recognize that it was the same kid in each one.
yeah. Um,
Hmm.
but actually, uh, this song is about a guy who um, lives in his hometown. And if he's like me, by the only thing that really goes on in this town that people that's anywhere anything kind of exciting is football games on Friday night. Um, and like you said, because it said it's another Friday night, there's a line of cars. Home team's got an out of towner, which they got an away game. Me, I'm sitting on the hood of mine drinking. I'm just a parking lot down and outer. He's bummed because he wants to be at the game, and but it's an away game, and so, but going to the games relieves it brings up memories and good memories um about the love that he has lost and everything. But he's talking about how like since it's not here, since she's got that outside bug or out there bug, he's gonna get a around here buzz, which is he's just gonna kind of get high on the town. You know what I'm saying? And or whatever, and because he loves his hometown and that's where he's from, and she moved away or whatever. If you, it's here's the way I can see this. It's one of these songs that's when you listen to the song, you're kind of like, okay, what does this mean? But then when you watch the video for it, it kind of brings the song kind of more full circle. You understand it a little bit better, and so yeah, I love this song. And me and my brother was talking about one day. He was like, when he first heard this song, he was like, I hope he brings that out as a single, and he did. And so yeah, it's a really good song. It's probably one of my other favorite songs off this record. I've actually listened to the song a lot actually, because there's parts in this song that I can relate to. Um, so yeah,
Round here, boss.
that's all I got to say. So I'm gonna give this song to me. It may not be worth it to anybody else, but to me, I'm gonna give it another. I'm gonna give it a 5 stars.
Oh, nice. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed this song as well. Probably not as much as you are, Bill, but I mean, I do still kind of, I do like the metaphor, like of how he's like gonna get high. I mean, well, get high from pretty much like just like going around to like all these local spots, like in his hometown, because he loves his hometown. So yeah, I kind of like the like message in this song as well, and I can definitely understand why this would be relatable to a lot of people. So I probably don't have too much to say about the song in particular, since I mean what Bill said. I mean, pretty much what the song was about anyway. But I do like some of the lyrics on the song, and it definitely felt like it was a very well written song. And I also like the fact that it had a music video, so it kind of brought some visuals to the song as well. So, but but yeah, I do think it is cool that that the same kid from the Mr. Misunderstood video was also in this one as well. So, but yeah, with that being said, I'll probably give this song maybe 4 stars. Like this may sound crazy, but I feel like a lot of the songs on this album are either 4 stars, like either like 4 stars for me, or I don't know. There may be one song on here that may be lower than that. I'm not particularly sure. I'm not trying to give out spoilers or anything, but yeah, I feel like most of the songs on this album are pretty like 4 and 4.5 for me. Um, But yeah, with that being said, I do like the song though. I mean, it is enjoyable, and even I'm kind of glad it was chosen as a single, even though I don't really think I listened to this song or heard it before doing this album review. So I mean, so several years had went by since the song came out that I finally was captured into this world that Eric Church was painting with this song in particular. So actually, with this whole album, since a lot of these songs I hadn't really heard much before, or if I did, it was more of a like they just came more like randomly, or like on a Spotify playlist or something I was listening to. But yeah, it's definitely a good song, Wild Bill. So you ready for me to move on to the next track, Wild Bill? Or
Yep.
okay, there we go. To track 7. Now, I will be honest with you guys. One reason I wanted to kind of start off the review is because I wanted to introduce a song in particular. Track 7 is called Kill a Word, and it's probably my favorite track on this whole album. Even the one I was kind of hinting at too, but like before the review of Wild Bill, I said there was one song in the album I kept replaying over and over again, and this is actually that
Yeah.
song.
Oh,
But yeah, Kill a Word, and it's featuring I think someone named Rhiannon Giddens, I think. But yeah, it's basically Kill a Word is basically an elaborate play on words about the negative words that can ruin a person's life. The song focuses on the act of killing words as if you could expunge a word like you could kill a person or an animal. His phrasings speak of disgust and violence towards the negativity inside each of his target's words. His point is simple: sticks and stones may break your bones, but names are just as harmful. And not to sound like too sensitive of a guy or anything, but I feel like that's so relatable. Maybe because I've been in situations like that. Not. I mean, usually from like someone I don't even know, like calling me something like. I mean, like you don't know my story. You don't know what I've been through. So yeah, I mean, like each to his own. Like you can call me whatever you like. It's not gonna bother me. But I mean, but sometimes words can really hurt, especially if it's coming from like a close friend or a family member, for example. Which, in my case, I can definitely relate to like people calling like saying certain words to me that made me feel that way. Or it could also be in a relationship, for example. I've been in a relationship with where the relationship ended pretty badly and some words were said and most of them came from her and not me. But yeah, I was like, I wish like certain words could just die horrible and painful death. But yeah, I mean, I do really love this song though. This song is definitely like 5 stars for me. Also, a fun fact that I found out from researching like doing this review, is one of the co-writers of the song. His name is Luke Dick, and he grew up in Oklahoma City. He's basically where I'm from. Like a co-writer on this album is actually from where I'm from. So I think that's actually really cool to know. And this is also my favorite song on this album. So I was like, that's such a interesting coincidence. But yeah, I love the song. 5 stars for me. One of the most relatable songs. It's probably one of it. Probably would this song would probably would be as I mean after me and Wild Bill are done like with like doing album reviews of Eric Church's complete discography. If we came back to do like a top 10 list or something like ranking like our top 10 favorite Eric Church songs or something, I feel like this song could actually easily be on it. Kill a Word. I mean, I enjoyed the song quite a bit, and I feel like this was the song that really got me engulfed in this album or wanting to re-listen to the album, especially this song in particular. So yeah, 5 stars for me. What are your thoughts, Wild Bill?
oh man. Well, this is gonna be
Yeah.
kind of short for me. You pretty much said everything I was gonna say anyway.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah.
Uh, so this is a good song. Um, when I went back to relive this record, it kind of, I don't know. It's always been one of these songs that I never skipped, but I just never really sat down and just kind of like listen to it or whatever. Right? Um, it's a great song, and I love the message behind it. I think it has a great message. It's just not to me like I'm going to say this, and maybe I'm wrong for saying this, but this kind of feels like one of those filler track songs to me, right?
Hmm.
Like it just it's like I wrote this song and I'm gonna put it on this record, um, and I'm gonna stick it like on this like the last part of the record towards the tail end and whatever. I mean, it's a great song and it has a great message behind it. Don't get me wrong, right? Like I
Yeah.
think that we should like kill a lot of these words that hurt and make people all these things and all that. And I
Yeah.
agree with it. But I just the song for me, I don't know. It's just I guess I would understand it more if it really wasn't a song. I guess in a way. Um, Maybe it's more of a
Hmm.
poem or something. But I don't know. It's just me, and I mean, it has nothing to do with Eric Church or nothing. Like he sings great on this song. It's just I don't know. It's just one of those songs that just like I could take it or leave it type songs, right? And you don't really find that a lot on Eric Church records, but this is one of those ones that I kind of um,
Hmm.
feel that way about. But it's a great song, and Eric, like I said, he puts Eric Church does not, and Eric Church does not do anything half-assed. Okay, so he put effort into the song and everything, and for that, I'm gonna give it 3 stars because I mean, and I would give it a little bit higher. It's just I don't know. It's just one of them songs. It's just kind of like if I'm listening to the record, I'll play it, but it's not one of them songs that I would go and drop the needle down and listen to. So it kind of has that kind of feel for it to me. So that's it.
Hmm. But yeah, I mean, I kind of expected us to have like different opinions or something, some songs anyway, since I like listen to I don't know like a little bit of everything. I would say, but yeah, maybe this song just resonated with me so much because it wasn't particularly like in the way he sung the song that made it one of my favorites for me. It was more of the lyrics alone or the message behind the song, and even that was enough to make me like fully engulf me in what like even the way he sung it was starting to make a lot more sense to me. And I don't know, maybe I just felt like it was catchy the way he said like kill a word. Like just the way I don't know. But I guess this is one of the songs that me and you have completely different opinions of, Wild Bill.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to, we can move on to track 8.
Okay. And
Yeah,
this is
I
mine,
think this
right?
is yeah, I think this is yours.
Okay. The next song
Mm.
on this album is called "Holding My Own." Now, to me, I take this song as a guy who, because it says I've always been a fighter, a scrapper, and a claw. Used up some luck and lawyers. Like like Hook from Tom Sawyer jumped on my raft, shoved off, chasing my dreams, reeling in big fishes. I had some hits and a few big misses. I gave 'em hell and got a few stitches. And all these days I show off my scars. And he talks about how, later on he goes, well, with one arm around my baby and one arm around my boys, a heart that's still crazy and a head that hates the noise. If the world comes rocking, tell them I'm not home. I'm finally holding my own, right? So I kind of feel like this song is about a guy who Probably grew up. Probably didn't have much. People told him he was never going to be anything. You know, he had to fight and scrap and claw and get everything that he had. Um, but he wound up, finding the love of his life, having some kids and everything in the family. And now that he's doing all this stuff, the world comes knocking like some kind of like, you know, either good or bad or whatever. And he's like, just tell them I'm not interested because I'm holding my own. I don't need what everybody else is offering me. Whatever I got, what I need right here, and so yeah, I think it's a song. I think it could be a metaphor song as long as like you're doing something and you're whether it's like coming out of jail rehab or something like that or any kind of like anything in your life and you're having to do it on your own and you're not asking for help anybody you kind of holding it together with on your own. So I think that's what this song is about, and I really like it and I like the message. I actually have a jacket, a Eric Church jacket that has holding my own on it, which is really cool, and I wear it from time to time. So yeah, I really like this song. um, there's some relatable parts in here about me or that I feel that relates to me. So I'll give it like 4.5 stars.
But yeah, I think this one in particular because I mean I don't have much to say about the songs that you pretty much covered pretty much a lot of what I was gonna say anyway a while ago. But I don't know. I feel like this is one of those songs on the album that didn't resonate with me as much as like other ones did. I mean, I do kind of like get the message though. I do love what Eric is saying in the song about holding his own, and I mean, this song does feel like the Family Man type dynamic. Like, I guess, I guess perspective in a song. Because I mean, you can definitely tell that like Eric has matured as he's gotten older and like started a family of his own and everything. So I I actually really do still enjoy the song quite a bit though. But I'd probably give this song maybe like I don't know. I feel like I want to give it like 3.5, but I don't know. It's more like 4 stars for me. The reason why it's 3.5 is the reason why I'm considering that is because it's like one of those songs that I just didn't resonate with me or affect me as much as it probably does other people or other Eric Church fans. So but yeah, I mean it's still a good song regardless. I mean, just like Rob said, like when covering the last song is that I mean Eric Church doesn't like half-ass anything, so you can definitely tell a lot of his effort did go into making the song like as good as it is, like as a final as the final product. So, um, but yeah, it's still a good song though. But yeah, I guess that's my ranking on it. Like pretty much like maybe 4 stars at most. So yeah,
Nice.
so you want me to go on to the next one, Waba?
Yeah.
Okay. Track 9. Another song with a music video. It's called Record Year. Now, it says this is a heartbreaker, but it's less about love lost and more about what the breakup provided, a chance to renew a lasting love affair with great music. Now, I actually
Yeah.
really liked the song, and the music video to me brought this song even more to life than the song by itself. Because I love in the video how Eric Church is like because as he's singing like the song Record Year, he's like holding up like a lot of vinyls and stuff and like giving them to people. Like people like and then there's like even someone stacks up like vinyl upon vinyl upon vinyl. And it's basically about like what I take from the song is it feels like maybe Eric like either gone through a recent breakup, um, or something that was like life altering or life changing in his life in a way, but yet instead of being like depressed and like regretting like what he said or did at the end of this previous relationship or in like wallowing in his own pain pretty much or even like he says in the song like basically staying like in his own living hell or turning his own house into a jail. um like after the breakup, he's just listening to great music and listening to pretty much all these past artists like that I have been making music for decades or have already like long gone passed away since like he started listening. He's like listening to his old vinyls from like artists from like the 60s, 70s, 80s, and so on, and like a lot of these just great music and just like taking their words and making it his own, I guess. Like basically relating, like because he feels like maybe these artists like feel his pain, and they written songs about how how they got through their own like past breakups and stuff, and it's making them feel better at the end of the day. So, and he's basically living life by listening to great music. Pretty much, that's basically the message I get from the song. He's basically living life by basically just like sitting at home, like listening, like having his records on, like basically listening to great music. So that's basically how I take it, and so he's basically the way he's getting over the breakup. I would assume. I mean, and I do feel like a lot of people can probably relate to that because even I'm the same way. Like, because I mean, sometimes like it can hurt, like because breakups do suck and everything. But that's basically how I've always like music has always been a way for me to like escape, I guess, or it's always been like something for me to help me get through things. That's why I listen to as much music as I do anyway. But yeah, I did love the message of the song. I probably and I love the video as well. So I think I actually would give this song like 5 stars because this is one song on the album. I feel like I have like in a faint memory in the back of my mind like that maybe I did hear this song when it first came out, like because I do feel like maybe I came across this video on YouTube once or twice as well, like back in like 2016 or so. Um, so, because I know the video seemed familiar, the song seemed familiar, and I'm pretty sure YouTube probably would have recommended this video to me at one time anyway, like based on other things that I listened to and watch and so. But yeah, this song sounded very familiar to me, so yeah, I give it like 5 stars. This is probably one of my favorite songs from the album as well, and one of the most familiar, one of the songs from the album that I remember the most out of like the other songs of this album. Because, like I said, there were quite a few I hadn't heard before preparing for this review. So yeah, 5 stars for me. What are your thoughts, Bob? Bill?
Huh. Well, uh, I love this song. It's my absolute
Yeah.
favorite song on this whole record, right? And
Oh,
probably one of the songs that is most relatable to me in this whole record because
yeah,
I remember being a collector of vinyl before I actually had my own turntable, right? At the
yeah,
time, my father had a turntable out in his garage or shop or whatever it is you want to call it. And we listened to that thing like we basically listened to that thing till it just quit working, right?
yeah,
And I mean, at the time, I had different varieties of vinyl from Metallica to Eagles to there was just different stuff that was in our playlists and everything. And I remember um, not too long right after um, me and my first ex separated, I
Yeah.
had bought this stereo that had it was a 5 CD changer, and two tape deck, and it come with this turntable. And man, at that time I had really had started. I pretty had a pretty decent vinyl collection going at the
Yeah.
time. Nothing like I've got now. I mean, now I've got a pretty massive collection, but I probably had a stack of vinyl, probably like that, maybe.
Yeah.
And I remember just spending a year just playing everything I had, and I would find records, and if I found something at a sometimes I would just go to these bargain bins and grab something and spend like $1 on it and bring bring it home and listen to it. And I remember one time I was at my grandmother's house and come across this old Hank Williams record, and she's like, "If you want it, take it." Took it home and played it all from played both records from end to end, nonstop. Never lifted the needle. The only time the needle was lift when when the side was done, and I flipped it over and played the next side. Um, but there's one part in here. It says, I really love this phrase in here. It says, "I bet you thought before you left I would just sit in silence by myself, turn this house into a jail, dying slow in a living hell. But I got a funny way of keeping score. I usually make it. I mean, you're leaving lit up my scoreboard, right? It says, I usually make it through side A sober, but all bets are off when I flip her over. One bourbon, one scotch, and one beer. I'm having a record year, right? So he was kind of like me. He says, you might listen to that first side, but then when he flipped that second side, it was all over then. It was like, it's time to do some drinking. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love this record, and it's about finding yourself in the music and finding something to hold on to, and find something to keep you going. And it can be anything from Jones to Jennings to whatever it is to all these James Brown, Newgrass Revival, just all anything that you could put a needle, because there's another part in here and I love, and it says um where's it at? You left me leaving going crazy. I'm coming on. I'm counting on a needle to save me. See, some people think a needle will save me, right? I drop it in the groove, and we go round and round and down in a spiral. I guess I ought to call and thank you. I rediscovered Red-Headed Stranger, got down with old James Brown, and found New Grass Revival. If you find your way back, I owe you a beer for my record year. Right? So it's like I kind of understand what he means by that. Like when because when people believe like, and when you're down and stuff like that, he says, I'm counting on a needle to save me. That's shooting up something, trying to erase the pain with drugs or something like that. But my needle of choice was a needle on a turntable, and always has been. And so sometimes I find solace in music, and it's been a real it's been a real savior for me over the years. And uh so yeah, I just love this song, and without a shadow of a doubt, I know pretty much every line in this song, and I understand it, and I've probably lived it at one point in my life. Um, so yeah, it's it's a song about finding redemption and all this stuff through music, and it doesn't have to be one artist or one record. It can be anything. And so when he says, "Gonna find my survival in a 3 foot stack of vinyl," yeah, I know exactly what
Yeah.
he's talking about. So yeah, so this is a 5 star song for me. Probably the best song on the whole record. I love it. I could play this song over and over and over and never get tired of it. it's just one of those songs that just, when I heard this song, I was like, yeah, that song is me 100%. So, yeah, I love this. I love this song, and it's definitely 5 stars. And that's all I've got to say.
That's awesome, Wild Bill. Another song that we kind of, like, I actually agree on. We both gave it 5 stars.
So, um,
So you ready to
we
introduce the
come
next one?
to track
Yeah.
number 10,
Yeah.
which is the final track on the album. The what's that song? The last but not least, or something other. But this song is called 3 Year Old, and it's basically Eric Church writing in the point of view of, like, when you get an adult, you sort of kind of start growing up and you start living your life and you see things from an adult perspective. But sometimes it takes a child to bring you back to, like, back down to earth, kind of ground you and see things from a different perspective, or whatever. And for a person that doesn't have kids, I understand though about this song because I'm around a lot of kids a lot of times. So, like, you hear them say things that make totally sense, and you're sitting there thinking, like, why the hell didn't I think of that, or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, or just their look on outlooks on life is totally different from us. And yeah, so I think Eric was inspired by his 2 sons when he wrote this song, and I think some of the things that he put in this song, his son actually said to him through, I guess, like a few conversations or whatever. But yeah, it's another good song. I like it. It's not relatable to me because I don't have kids, but I get where it's coming from and I understand it. Um, because I do have some nieces and nephews that are small and everything, and I'll hear them say stuff sometimes, and I'm like, "Damn, you're smart." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I totally get it. And though I'm not a father or anything or whatever, I do like the song and I get it, and it is relatable to a certain extent. Um, but because I can't really say that, oh, this song I've lived it or whatever it is, I'm gonna give it 4 stars just because I think it's a great song and a great message, and it's about actually your kids making you think like a kid again, because they understand the world differently than we do. So it's a great song, and I think it's a good song to close the album out with. So that's all I got to say.
Okay. I'll be honest with you, just like you are, Bill. I'm not a father or anything like that. I don't have kids. Um, Although, in a weird coincidence, I know it's kind of confusing with like a recent relationship that my sister was in, but she was actually in a relationship with a woman who has kids, and even after the breakup, I mean, she's still kind of in the kids' lives in a sort of way. I guess she's still kind of like a co-parent to those kids in a way because my sister actually took me to meet these kids and their aunt who's actually the caretaker of these kids at the moment. Um, my sister actually took me to see the kids and the aunt like a couple weekends ago. So and it's kind of funny like just being around kids quite a bit like the past couple of weekends I should say, and then for me to listen to a song like this, get preparing for this review, I wasn't expecting it, but I mean I do kind of get the message of the song, and even sometimes when I'm around kids myself, sometimes it makes me just miss kind of being a kid myself, or sometimes a kid can say something that could catch me completely off guard that it reminds me of like my own childhood, like my own beliefs. Because I will be honest with you. I was definitely one of those kids where at like 3, 5, 7 years old, the way I saw the world was definitely completely different from how I see the world as an adult. Because because kids are more carefree, for example, than adults. Because adults are always stressing for like over money and stuff like that, and kids don't have to worry about that because well, they expect their parents to be able to take care of them regardless and everything. So, but yeah, I do kind of like the message of the song, and I mean, it does. Eric does point out some pretty good points in this song in particular about how kids see the world completely different than adults, and like kids have a lot more of imaginations because it's not like we can live on imaginations as adults because unfortunately real life isn't like that. So, but but yeah, it is a pretty neat perspective, and I guess the message of the song is basically what Eric is saying is sometimes kids. I mean, like the old saying goes that kids are the future, and or the kids also, I guess, like can make you think differently because of something they said. It's like, oh, why didn't I think? Like, why didn't I think of that? Because sometimes adults can be. I mean, not trying to say that we're stupid or anything, but I mean, there is a lot of dumb adults out there as well. So sometimes an adult can like get a wake up call just from something a kid said. So, yeah, I do like the message of the song. I do get what Eric's saying, and I'll probably give this song maybe. Um, I don't know. I think I would give this song about 4.5 stars, even though I don't have kids of my own or anything. I feel like this is a song though. My sister should probably hear. She might actually like this song because because I don't know. My sister still kind of feels like a mother to these kids at the moment, and and I feel like I'm starting to see a different side of my sister lately since she's basically been kind of a mom for the past year or two. So so yeah, 4.5 stars for me. I mean, it was a nice closer for the album. And I want to say it's one of my favorites on the album, but I mean, since there wasn't that many songs on this album that I really resonated with, I feel like this song did come close to becoming a favorite of mine. If I could say that, but only because I don't know, it makes me think of my sister and yeah, and like how she's like been a monthly figure to some kids of her own recently. So yeah, I do like the song though. 4.5 stars from me. So and I guess that wraps up the Eric Church, Mr. Misunderstood album review. Well, Bill, I mean, we could still give like top three tracks or anything or something like that if you want to pick your favorite songs, well, Bill, from the album.
I can do a top four.
Okay, top four. Okay.
Yeah, and that's record year, Rich Strengths and Feeling, Mr.
Yeah.
Misunderstood, and Round Here Buzz.
Okay. That's nice. For me, my top. Well, since you did a top four, I'll do a top four too. I guess. I think my top four would probably be "Kill a Word" is like my favorite on the album. So yeah, I would start with "Kill a Word," then "Knives of New Orleans," "Mr. Misunderstood," record year, and I guess as an honorable mention, I guess to make it a top five, I guess I put 3 Year Old as like an honorable mention. But yeah, I guess those are my top five. Hmm.
So awesome. If I had to give this album an overall rating of this album, and
Yeah,
I would have to give it a 4.75 stars. I mean, I thought it was a great record. It
yeah,
was a little different, but I get it. And there were a couple kind of there songs that were just okay on here. Um,
Yeah.
and that's probably the only thing that kind of just not give this album a 5 star for me. And that's okay because not everything is going to be great all the time. Now, I have one complaint about this record. Okay.
Okay.
I understand that this album was given away free originally to paid members of Eric Church's fan club. And then I think like that night or that next day or something, he released the album to everybody at the music awards that night. They got a copy of it. And then I think the next day he let stores know that he had a new record out. Now, this record was a surprise record. Even Eric Church said at the time he didn't even need a record at this time. There was no plans to do a record. It's just he had wrote a few songs and he loved the way they went and he loved the way the vibe was going. And he's like, why stop now? So they did these songs, put them on the record and put it out. Now, the only thing I don't like about this record is when it comes to the packaging of this record. I just kind of felt like it was cheaply done and kind of just thrown together. And I understand if you're going to give something away for free, especially when you're doing all the financing and all that stuff on, you want to save as much money as everything. And I get that. Okay, I'm not really complaining. But the thing I really didn't like about it was the first album that didn't have, and I don't care that Eric Church wasn't on the album cover. That has nothing to do with it. I didn't like it because it didn't come with lyrics. All his albums up till then had lyrics in them. And
Wow.
I had to go on the internet just search to get the lyrics for this album because I wanted to make sure that everything that I thought I was hearing and words he was saying was actually, and the phrases that he used was what I was hearing coming out of the speakers or whatever it is. So I wanted to just kind of reassure what I was hearing. So that's the main kind of complaint that I have, and that like there's really not, unless you read the front cover kind of, and which is weird about this because the front cover has this kid and he's been writing on a chalkboard, right? And it's got all the Mr. Misunderstood, Eric Church, but then it has all the actual song titles on the front of the record, and then on the back it's just got a bunch of scrambling, like it says, I will not dream in class, I will not dream in class, I will not dream in class, Mr. Misunderstood. And it just keeps repeating the same thing. So it's kind of, I get it to a certain extent, and maybe this album sort of kind of had a theme to it. Maybe it was kind of like the unknown kind of, because like I said, he went from an outlaw record to more of a kind of bluesy record. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I actually think looking back on it now, I really think it's a solid record. When I first heard it, maybe not so much. I guess I was expecting something else different. And this is the kind of direction he's kind of going in now, kind of a little bit more of a bluesier sound. And it works for him. It really does. But that's probably the only complaint that I have about it. But that's not a deal breaker for me, because obviously I have the CD and the vinyl, so it's not one of the things going to keep me from buying the record. I kind of have this feeling that there could have been more. He could have done a little bit more with the packaging of this record, but other than that, the music is great, and that's what really matters.
Yeah. But didn't you say that Eric kind of like surprise released this album too, or something? Or like,
he didn't even. No,
because here's
here's how it happened.
Yeah.
Here's how it happened. They were people who woke up who see at the time I was a fan club member, but I wasn't a paid fan club member, or I had been a paid fan club member and I had let it lapse, but I was still part of a fan member. I was like the free version of the fan club. And what happened
Okay.
was people was waking up that morning to finding a record on their doorsteps that they hadn't even ordered and didn't even know it was coming out or anything. And they opened up and it was a surprise record by Eric Church. So he sent a copy to every one of his
Everybody
fans.
was fan club. That is crazy. But also really cool at the same time.
That was a paid.
Yeah, I mean, not saying that I wish more artists did stuff like that, but I mean that is pretty cool and creative that Eric did that.
Yeah.
Because usually those.
So
I don't know other artists who. I mean, I know artists who have surprise released albums before, but I don't think they went to the lengths of like sending everybody in their fan club a copy of like their new album or anything like.
Yeah.
But that's still pretty cool that he did that. Because usually most people who I was just gonna say most people who surprise release an album usually just surprise release it on Spotify or something. So that's why another reason why I was saying that Eric was creative for doing that. Some also got the vinyl with the CD. Oh, nice.
Yeah, see, now I bought mine and I think I bought mine off of his web store when it was available, and mine actually come with a CD too. And mine actually, and this is what the CD looked like. It's the same thing in the album, in the actual CD case. It just come in a white. This is actually how it come inside the sleeve. So that's what you got when you got the record.
Nice.
But anyway, right? And there wasn't many of these for sale either. And I think there were only a limited number, and I grabbed mine. And so, but if you which I think is kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
The next album we'll be doing is called Desperate Man. Okay. And in that album, the video for Desperate Man kind of tells, it's funny as hell, but it actually kind of tells the story of this in the video almost. Like, but in a kind of a fictional way. But it was an album that he had put together, and then he'd give it like people woke up and it showed in the video people coming to the door finding a record on their steps or whatever it is. So it was kind of like a surprise thing. But when you watch the videos for the next album we do, especially Desperate Man, you'll kind of get what we're talking about when he surprised everybody with this record. So but that's all I had to say. I mean, like I said, it's not about the whole thing in general. It's about the music, and I'm glad I have it, and I wouldn't take nothing for it. It's a great record. Like I said, I don't think Eric Church has done a bad record yet. Do I like some better than others? Sure. Do I think some albums are stronger than the others? Sure. And I might not always like an album in whole, but if there's enough of strong tracks on there to make it worth listening to, then yeah, it's a good record. And like I said, there's really different. Like if you think this album was different sounding, wait till you hear Desperate Man. It's kind of more in the direction of this. I kind of have a feeling though that Desperate Man, and I probably shouldn't be talking about because that's next, but I will say this: it sort of kind of has a mixture of this album and The Outsiders.
Oh.
So yeah. So
I look forward to listening to that one, Robert, because like I said, I haven't listened to any of Desperate Man yet or anything, or at least I mean I don't even know the track list yet. I'll have to like look it up. But I mean, there's probably maybe a few songs on it that I may have heard because I mean I feel like on the past album reviews, there's always been at least one or two songs from each album that I've already heard like going into the review, but it's only because they were released as singles or I saw the video on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
Because I will be honest with you, I do think I've seen pretty much every Eric Church music video he's done, or at least I've seen it in my recommendations at one point or another. I feel like I've seen all his videos, but I just haven't listened to everything he's put out yet, like all the deep cuts and stuff like that. So like even the past album, The Outsiders, like that song "Devil Devil." I don't think I've ever heard that song before in my life. Like going into the review, and then when I first heard it, I was like, "Damn!" Like I was like, I didn't know that Eric made music like that because I don't know, it felt like such a departure from like his first couple of albums.
Yeah, that song to me, honestly, I think that song should have been a single. But
yeah, I think
it should have been
a single too.
Oh
yeah, hi Trish.
Oh, I'm sorry, Trish. I meant to post this, and actually I forgot about it. It's been a long day and a long week, and but I should have done that too, and I forgot all about it. But it's okay. But yeah, that pretty much wraps this up, and I hate to cut it short or whatever, but you're fired, LOL. I know. Sorry.
Yeah, you're fired, Wild Bill. I didn't know because I mean,
myself, so I ain't worried about it, right? So yeah, thanks for the people that showed up, and it's probably a little bit my fault that not more people showed up than what they did, because if I would have posted this in places, probably more people would have showed up. But it's okay.
But you can always watch back the stream. I mean, it was a pretty interesting discussion between me and Wild Bear here. So,
but I recommend Mr. Misunderstood. It's kind of like I said, it's different. It's a lot more kind of bluesy, bass sounding record. And when you go to listen to it, you'll understand it. I said this earlier before the live stream, and I meant to say this during the stream. I kind of feel like this is an album, for some odd reason, and I said this, feels like something that was a Louisiana inspired, kind of like jazz and blues and stuff like that, kind of a mixture. Because they call New Orleans the Big Easy, and because of a lot of jazz and stuff like that, but they also have a lot of blues there too, and so I think that this record, man, when I listen to that, that's kind of the vibe I get from listening to it, and so yeah, so go check it out. It's worth a listen, and I don't think you'll regret it. That's for sure. But this is my last thing I have to say about the record, and this is my final words and thoughts. So everybody have a good night, and we'll catch you later for the next one.
Yeah, look forward to the next Eric Church album review.
All right. Well, if y'all guys want to hang out afterwards, that'd be cool. And but anyway, we're gonna go, and y'all guys take it easy. And that's all I got to say.
All right, guys.